Welcome back. Are you ready to learn some serious secrets to nailing that pitch and closing the deal? Well, buckle up because I've just finished reading the amazing book, Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff, and I'm here to share all the valuable insights and wisdom I gained from it. It's packed with innovative methods for presenting, persuading, and winning the deal. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on this knowledge bomb I'm about to drop. So, grab a notebook and let's dive in. Introduction. Pitching ideas is a skill that every single one of us should master, no matter what profession we're in. You may be a dentist, an investment banker, or an astronaut. At some point, you're going to have to convince someone of something. But here's the thing, there's a gap between what we're trying to say and how our audience perceives it. And to bridge that gap, we gotta dive deep into the evolution of the human brain. You see, our brains have developed in 3 stages, resulting in 3 distinct parts. First, there's the primitive reptilian part, also known as the croc brain, which is all about survival and generates strong emotions. Next, the midbrain, which helps us understand more complex situations like social interactions. And finally, the sophisticated neocortex, which helps us reason and analyze complex things. Now, when you're pitching, you're using your neocortex to put your ideas into words, but unfortunately, your audience doesn't process these ideas with their neocortices at first. Instead, it's their croc brains that receive the ideas, and if your message seems abstract and unfathomable to the croc brain, it might perceive the message as a threat and make your audience want to flee. That's why you gotta tailor your pitch to the croc brain. Keep it simple, clear, concrete, and focused on the big picture. Also, make sure the croc brain sees your message as something positive and novel, something worth passing on to the higher brain structures. Now go out there and pitch like a pro. Idea number 1. Pay attention because I'm about to drop some serious knowledge on ya. The one thing you absolutely need throughout your pitch is the undivided attention of your target. I mean, let's be real, without that, you might as well be talking to a brick wall. So, how do we get that attention? Research has shown that you gotta evoke 2 sensations in your pitch, desire and tension. Desire arises when you offer your target a reward, something they want. And tension arises when you show them they might lose something, like an opportunity, as a result of this social encounter. On a neurological level, this effectively floods your target's brain with 2 neurotransmitters, dopamine and norepinephrine. Dopamine is all about anticipating rewards, like the pleasure of understanding something new, such as solving a puzzle. So, to increase the level of dopamine in your target's brain, you gotta introduce novelty through a pleasant surprise, like an unexpected yet entertaining product demo. Norepinephrine, on the other hand, is the chemical responsible for alertness, and it creates tension in the target. If your pitch convinces them that there's a lot at stake here, their brains will be flooded with norepinephrine. To create tension, you gotta use a bit of push-pull strategy. First, you say something to push the target away, like, maybe we aren't a good match for each other. Then, you counter this by pulling the target back toward you with something like, but if we are, that would be terrific. This push-pull dynamic creates alertness in the target, as they sense that they might lose this opportunity. And depending on the situation, you may use very powerful push-pull statements, especially if you sense your target's attention beginning to wane. So, put this knowledge to use and watch as you capture and keep the attention of your target. Idea number 2. You know how different people can see the same thing in completely different ways? Like how some folks see a glass as half full while others see it as half empty. Well, that's because of something called frames. Frames are the perspective or point of view based on a person's intelligence, ethics, and values. And let me tell you, these frames can make or break a situation, especially in a business setting. When 2 people meet, Their frames collide, and the strongest one wins. Like, for example, when a cop pulls you over for speeding. He's got a strong moral authority frame and you've got a weak, "I'm so sorry, officer," frame. It's clear that when your frames clash, his frame will prevail, meaning he controls every aspect of the encounter. It's the same in a business environment, like when a customer is focused on the price of your product while you're focused on its quality. You'll both try to get the other to focus on what you think is important. But if your frame survives this clash, you'll have frame control in the situation, meaning your ideas and statements will be accepted as facts by the customer. And let me tell you, that's a huge advantage in any pitch. Without frame control, you're unlikely to convince anyone of anything. Idea number 3. In a pitch or sales meeting, you'll often come across certain archetypes of frames, and it's important you choose the right one to counter them. Typically, your target will use the power frame, which exudes arrogance. But you must not do anything that validates the other person's power. Instead, use small acts of defiance and denial to bust the frame. For example, by yanking your presentation material away from the target if they do not seem to be taking it seriously. Another oft-used frame is the time frame, where your customer asserts control over time. "I only have 10 more minutes." This is meant to push you off balance, but you can always counter with, "That's fine, I only have 5. A particularly lethal frame is the analyst frame, denoted by a fixation on details and numbers. If your opponent is in this frame, they will likely insist on drilling down into minor technical and financial details, effectively bogging down your pitch. In such situations, give a direct but high-level answer to the question asked and get right back to your pitch. Analysis comes later. Before more questions come up, counter the analyst frame with your own intrigue frame. This basically means you tell a compelling personal story and leave it unfinished as a cliffhanger. So there we were, in a pitch-black, falling airplane with no idea what was going to happen. Anyway, back to the pitch. This redirects the focus of the room onto you and makes the discussion personal once again. Now, go out there and knock 'em dead with your frame game. Idea number 4. The most important frame you need in your arsenal, the prize frame. This one works in a variety of situations against many opposing frames. Typically, when you're selling something or pitching an idea, your target will see their money as the prize of the meeting, something you have to fight for. But you gotta reframe the situation so that you are the prize, and they would be lucky to do business with you. Because people tend to want things they can't have, prizing yourself will make your target work for your acceptance instead of the other way around. Just like how BMW does this with a special edition M3. They demand prospective buyers sign a contract assuring they will take proper care of the car, otherwise they cannot buy one. In a pitching situation, never engage in behavior that makes it seem like you're chasing the target, for example, by agreeing to last-minute schedule changes or trying to prematurely close the deal by saying things like, "So, what do you think so far?" Such behavior only reinforces the impression that the target is the prize. Instead, get your target to explicitly qualify themselves to you. For example, you could say, "I am very particular about with whom I work. Why should I do business with you?" This usually catches them off guard and they start trying to impress you. Now, go out there and make yourself the prize. Idea number 5. Before you make any decisions, I've got some news for you. We're more likely to make choices instinctively than through rational analysis. In fact, we often make a decision about something before we even fully understand it and only later come up with reasons for that decision. These gut calls are called hot cognitions, whereas the decisions arrived at through rational reasoning are known as cold cognitions. After you've introduced your big pitch idea, you want to trigger hot cognitions within your target. These will make them want what you have to offer in mere seconds, instead of analyzing your pitch for days to reach a rational, cold decision. And the way you do that is by stacking frames, meaning you introduce multiple frames in quick succession. The first frame is the intrigue frame. You tell your target a compelling story, a personal narrative where a dilemma is solved. At the crucial juncture, you stop telling the story, leaving your target on the edge of their seat, ensuring their full attention. Next, you pile on the prize frame, where you flip the tables on the target. Instead of trying to impress them, make them qualify themselves to you. You could say something like, "This deal has so many investors after it, I have to choose who to take on board." After this, you stack on the time frame by adding time pressure to the pitch. Unfortunately, this is a limited time offer, and the train, so to speak, is leaving the station on Monday. This will make the target feel like they are losing an opportunity, at which point they will want it even more. By triggering all these hot cognitions in the target, you will leave them drooling for what you have to offer. So, go out there and stack those frames like a pro. Idea number 6. You know what can kill your pitch faster than a speeding bullet? Neediness. You know, that validation-seeking behavior that screams, "I'm weak," to your audience. And let me tell you, if you act needy, the audience will sense you're weak and their primitive croc brains will classify your proposal as a threat to their money. This can easily push you into a vicious cycle where the audience becomes more and more distant due to your neediness, which in turn makes you anxious and even needier. But don't worry, there's a simple 3-step formula based on the movie The Tao of Steve, where the protagonist, Dex, follows a pseudo-Taoist philosophy to pick up women. First, try to eliminate your desires, at least in the eyes of the target. If they have something you desperately want, this will translate as neediness in you. To negate this, make it clear to the target that you do not need them. Second, focus on the things you do well, your strengths. Demonstrate something that showcases your excellence. Dex, for instance, was great with children and made sure the target of his affections saw this. Similarly, you must demonstrate excellence in front of your target. Third, withdraw. At the crucial moment when your target expects you to chase them for their money, withdraw instead by saying something like, "I'm not totally convinced we're a good match for each other." Idea number 7. In any meeting, a dominant member known as an alpha emerges, while others take subordinate beta positions. It is very difficult to be persuasive from a beta position. Hence, you must grab alpha status. Though some elements of status, like your reputation or wealth, are quite stable, situational status can vary immensely. For example, while a successful surgeon has considerably higher social status than a golf teacher, the teacher is still the alpha during a golf lesson. Often your pitch targets will lay so-called beta traps to force you into the situational beta position. For example, being made to wait in the lobby is a classic beta trap. You must try to ignore these traps and avoid doing anything that enforces your opponent's alpha status. Instead, use small acts of defiance and denial to grab the situational alpha status for yourself as soon as you can. Say a customer has made you wait in the lobby. Once in the meeting room, you could begin examining some papers on the table in front of you. When the customer peeks at them, you could yank them away and say something like, "Nope, not until I'm ready." If done in a good-natured, half-joking manner, this enforces your alpha position. Once you have alpha status, you must then steer the discussion into a direction where you are the expert, much like the golf professional talks about golf, not heart surgery, when teaching the surgeon. To solidify your status, force your opponent to say something that reinforces your alpha position with a good-natured jest, like, "Remind me, why on earth should I work with you guys on this?" Remember folks, status is everything in a pitch, and you gotta grab that alpha status and hold on tight if you want to be persuasive. Idea number 8. Before you begin any pitch, remember to let your target know you'll keep the presentation short and sweet. Just like Watson and Crick's Nobel Prize-winning idea of the DNA helix, they only needed 5 minutes. If you know what you're doing, you can pitch anything in 20. Start your pitch by introducing yourself. This doesn't mean rattling off your entire resume, but just highlighting your greatest successes, like projects where you really did something impressive. Most people will be tempted to jump right to the big idea, for which they're trying to get financing. But before you get to it, you should address one crucial concern in your target's mind. Namely, you must explain why now is the right time to invest. Rather than a long and complex analysis, simply outline the economic, social, and technological forces which make your deal unmissable right now. Economic forces that benefit your pitch, for example, could be your target customers becoming wealthier and interest rates going down. The social forces could be the rising consumer concern for the environment, and the technological force could be the development of the electric car. You must present these forces in a way that shows a window of opportunity has recently opened but will not remain open forever. The three forces set the stage and paint a backstory for your big idea, which should also be kept brief and simple. Use an established recipe for this. For target customers who are dissatisfied with current offerings on the market. My product is a new idea that provides solution to key problem, unlike competing product. My product has key product features, that's it. The time for details comes later. So go out there, grab that alpha status, and pitch like a pro. Summary. The key takeaway from this book is that in any social encounter where you want to be persuasive, you've got to take charge and make sure the target sees things through your chosen frame of mind. But that's not all. You also got to make sure that on a brain level, the target's noggin is working for you, not against you. It's like a game of chess. You got to be strategic and think several moves ahead. And remember, it's not just about what you say. It's also about how you say it and how you make the target feel. So go out there, take control and make them fall for your pitch like a stack of dominoes. That was just the tip of the iceberg, folks. If you want to know more, you've got to read the book. Trust me, it's packed with valuable insights. And if you enjoyed this, can I just say, you're the best. I'd be forever grateful if you hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with your peeps. It helps me grow my channel and reach more people, and I can't thank you enough for your support. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a video from me. Thanks again for watching, and I can't wait to share more with you in the future.